Welcome, everyone. I've been putting this one off for a while. Just hadn't felt good for the last couple of days, so I actually feel like talking today. My light's a little blue today. I don't know why. We'll just leave it the way it is, I guess. So, anyway, guys, I hope everybody's doing well. Hope everybody is had a good Turkey Day, and then Christmas is coming up. Uh, I wanted to talk on today's subject because it's got actually, uh, it's kind of the where I've been and where I'm going and stuff like that. Ooh, my volume is. I'm trying to get it where it's not blasted. But I chose today's thing because you do have to break the chains for yourself to be actually happy. And I probably learned this the hard way. When I was younger, I didn't really care what people thought, and then I started caring too much, and then the more I cared about other people, the more unhappy I got. So I can relate to this subject, and that's why I wanted to put it out. And the first one is constantly comparing yourself to others. When I was younger, I didn't compare myself to anybody. I just did what I wanted to do. And as you get older, especially in your 20s, you're comparing yourself to others. You're still comparing yourself to classmates in school, and I didn't really compare myself to others in high school. It was more as I got in my 20s. I started comparing myself to tons of people, and they have this and I have that, and it just it takes too much out of you. And I hope people in their 20s and maybe in their high school that's watching this, stop comparing yourself to others. My daughter is super special. She doesn't realize how special she is. And she's like, people say this and that, this, that. I'm like, you gotta be who you want to be. Don't change because somebody tells you you have to. Don't compare yourself. Your style. Don't compare yourself to others, because nobody else is gonna. Everybody else is trying to compare themselves to you. If you can compare yourself to yourself, then you'll always have to understand that people they'll respect you more when it comes to that. So stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing yourself to your idols and the people that you look up to. Look up to yourself. Look up to yourself. That's all you can do. And if somebody compares you to somebody else and it's in a good comparison, then if it's a bad one that you feel like it's bad, try to get rid of it if you can. I know it's hard. People People say stuff to me all the time or look at me funny, and I'm like, I give them the finger. I mean, not, well, in some cases I would, but most of the time I just look at them and go on. Um, it's just the way I am. Uh, Number two, overthinking everything. Boy, have I had a problem with this. I think that goes along with depression. You overthink. You get. I'll, I'll I'll put this in there. Uh, when I was younger, it didn't really bother me, but as I got older, uh, overthinking things. Like when I was younger, I did overthink a lot of stuff. Like when it came to my, I would read a book or whatever, and my English teacher would be like, "You're way overthinking this. You're going off in the weeds." And I overthink so much stuff. Uh, and sometimes overthinking will get you in trouble. Uh, it will it will make you paranoid. Uh, Make you look over your shoulder over all the time. Uh, Overthinking is it's anxiety, really. Uh, People, uh, like I used to overthink. Oh, I got a pain here. This means something else, guys. I'm telling you right now, I'm not a doctor, so. But just with life experience, with overthinking, I've always been an analytical thinker. I've always sometimes think out of the box. Sometimes I think too much in the box. And overthinking is bad for me anyway. Uh, it held me back on a lot of things, especially with this YouTube channel. I wanted it to be perfect and without flaws and without me stuttering. And if you haven't figured out by this fourth episode, I go through phases. Good Lord, why is this mic doing this? I hope I'm not blowing y'all out. It keeps going off the charts. But anyway, you overthink, you get a pain. Like I get pains all the time. And used to be like, oh, there's something wrong. And 9 times out of 10, it's not. And the thing of it is like if you have, like, you have to have an understanding that sometimes you just don't feel good. And it's okay. Uh, if y'all have seen some of my older videos, y'all can tell that I'm overthinking things. And it does rear its head because I don't mind change if it's good change. If it's bad change, if I see it as bad or negative, it wears me out. Uh, like in my previous videos that I've already taken down, but uh, you know, I had to get away from all this news crap, and I don't even want to pay attention to it anymore. I see it and I move on, because what am I going to do? What am I going to do to change it? I'm not going to change anybody's ideas or their ways of thinking. Uh, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to start thinking of the way they think, and then I start wondering, okay, you know, how can I change this? How can I? What in the world is up with that blue today? Goodness, it's I have my lighting the same way I have it most other times. Anyway, and I'm not going to try to fix it either. It's the way the lights show up today. That's the way the lights show up today, right, guys? Uh, uh, Number 3, neglecting physical health. And this is part of me overthinking me. It's your physical health is physical health. And it goes into that of mindset that something's wrong because your body is sending you signals. If you take care of yourself, and part of taking care of yourself, your physical health, is going to see your doctors. I've had to trust the doctors. Trust their tests. They're not perfect. They can't guarantee one thing or the other, but a doctor is a doctor. They go to school for it. They have a passion for it. That's the reason they're doctors. And most of them, anyway. And I try to judge my doctors on their demeanor and how they get things done. I'm having an issue with my PCP right now. But your physical health really does affect you. Like I said before, I'm well overweight. But physical health can be it can be anything. If you've got a pain and you find something wrong and you cut your finger, take the cautions of washing your hands, do all that kind of stuff. But get out and about when it's sunny. I know during the winter time, it depends on where you live. It gets rainy where I'm at. It gets cold. Well, not really cold, but it gets wet and gray every day. And but uh, get out, go movement, stuff like that. I've never been big on working out. Never really. I mean, if that's your thing, then by all means. But part of my physical health is my mental health. Me learning things. I I put a strong emphasis on never stop learning. If you're a person that uh, is intrigued by things, keep your mind sharp. Uh, you know, it's that's part of my physical health, guys. I don't know how many times that I've go to lay down and I'm like, ooh, I wonder what this means, and let's never stop learning. Never stop learning, and I think I've got uh, that's part of what I'm going to say in a couple of seconds. Number 4, holding grudges. Used to be bad about this. I got it from actually, 2 of my family members. My nanny was kind of like that. She'd hold a grudge. I don't know how long. But my Aunt Ann, me and her we were a lot alike. Uh, didn't realize how much we really were. I didn't realize how much we were really alike until, oh, 4 or 5 years ago, 6 years ago. Uh, just holding on to grudges is bad. Uh, and I'm the world's worst about it. Somebody aggravates me, ticks me off. I don't want nothing to do with them. I'll straight up just uh, I'll just straight up just stop associating with them. Uh, and it's one thing to hold a grudge. It's another thing to act on that grudge. And I think a lot of people do that, and I still hold on to grudges, but uh, I'm not gonna let that control the way I think about somebody. As I've gotten older, the hold on a grudge, I'm just like, whatever. I'm not going to. I'm not going to pursue holding on to this grudge anymore. I may get mad, and I may do things where I don't have to come in contact with that person. If they send me an email or text message me, I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And we'll chat, and like, I mean, I'll still chat with them and still talk to them, uh, but I have to realize that we're all biased, um, and sometimes grudges are meant. There's a reason for the grudge, but holding on to the grudge is what's bad. Is just trying to actively hold the grudge. Uh, I just, I don't, I don't see the worth of the holding the grudge, because the thing of it is you may be holding a grudge, but that person isn't holding a grudge against you, because maybe they don't see it. Maybe they just, and that's okay. Uh, I mean, I've lost several friends because I've holding a grudge too long, and I just, and sometimes grudges are warranted, and sometimes there's a reason why you don't want to, a logical reason, and you know that's that's on you. But if you see somebody and you've got a grudge and they've changed and you can see the change too, sometimes they can see the change. Uh, like, for instance, when I was younger and my kids would say stuff to me, and I'm like, I my kids could hold a grudge on me for that stuff, but especially when it comes to my well, Stacy and Caden. Caden, this one, uh, would tell me when I was younger, "Hey, Dad, blah 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 blah," But talk to him today, he's like, "No, Dad, you've gotten better with it." And when my kids tell me something that I need to change, or even with Steph, I don't really mind with Robert because, well, Robert's Robert, but when Steph or my kids say something, I listen, because they know that um, their opinion is valued with me. My kids could hold grudges against me for all kind of stuff. Um, and they'll even say stuff to me like in public, and they'll say stuff about other people. And they're like, "Ed, what?" And I'm like, I don't know, baby. I don't know why they do this or that or the other." And but they'll ask me, "Hey, do you remember when you were like this?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah." And they're like, "I'm like, well, have I changed on that?" And they're like, "Yeah, you have." And they could hold grudges on me, and but that's the thing. I love to death about my kids. My kids are brutally honest. Steph is too, but my kids are brutally honest, and that's what I want my kids to be. I don't. And Caden doesn't hold grudges. Uh, Thomas, yeah, Thomas does, but Stacy, Stacy does to a point. But like I said, I didn't when I was younger, and as I got older, I did. And then I noticed that some of the grudges I held was from the time I was in my younger years. Actually, I feel like they were grudges towards myself. Um, but that's here nor there, say. um, Ignoring your passions. Uh, Ignoring my passions is been a thing in my whole life. Um, I've always, what people think if, you know, one of my passions is my YouTube channel. For the longest time, I didn't want to get on here. I wanted, I granted, I'm only like 4 episodes in, but I've tested it on Facebook Lives. I've done a few here and there things on YouTube, and seeing how I wanted to roll on my show, and you know your passions are who you are. Um, Passions are things that happen that you want. My next episode, I'm going to be talking about where I want to go with this channel, and so that's going to explain to you my passions, what I want to do with this show, what I want to accomplish with it, uh, what I don't think I'm going to change my format, or uh, you know, it will all come when it comes. But take your passions seriously. If you want something, go after it. It's not going to come to you. It's not going to come to you. If you love weather or love whatever you love, get your name out there. Step out there and communicate with people and talk to people and get to know people, chat with people. I'm on a Discord that I don't personally have. I mean, I have one that I use to chat with people, but I don't have a group for it. And all that, I'm not gonna. But I am a member of 3 Discord channels, and I hop in and out of there, just talk to people, and uh, that's. But my big passions, I'm gonna talk about in the next episode. So, but don't ignore them. Don't ignore them. If you ignore your passions, you're ignoring who you are. And that's that's just the way it goes. If you have a passion for something, then you make the effort, because it's not going to come to you if you don't. Good Lord, my nose is itching. But anyway, guys, seriously, don't ignore your passions. Thomas graduates this year, and for the longest time, we were like, "What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?" And he called us one day last week and says, "I'm gonna go. I think I want to go to ETBU," because he was gonna go to the army, and he's on ADHD medicine and stuff like that, and we've tried to take him off of it. It's too much for him, and I figured it would be, but I told him, I said, if you want to go to the army, go to the army. But he's changed his mind, and East Texas Baptist University. I don't understand why he picked the church one, but he did, and I'm super stoked that he did choose a college. I mean, it's a good college. It's a good university. It really is. But he's taking this path. He wants to do choir. He wants to be a choir teacher, and he's been in choir for 8-9 years now. He's progressed and gotten better. Really, he has. And I'm so thrilled now. Stacy still wants to be a truck driver. I told her she's gonna have to get thicker skin for that. Caden used to want to be a doctor. His mom still wants him to be a doctor, but I really don't. I've told my kids, you be what you want to be. If I would have it all over again, granted, YouTube is something that I really would like for this to go off. I mean, because in the Navy, I was doing avionics computer technician stuff, and then when I came home, I was dabbling in multimedia, but all through high school, and y'all will be like, where's all your tech knowledge now? I did what was it called? Anyway, I did computers there too. But my passion has always been to talk to others and learn things and build things. And so that's just who I am. And I think deep down inside, I've always wanted to be a teacher or a philosopher, that's the thing is, like, I want to know about everything, and that's part of my learning too, is because I want more learning. I want more knowledge on something, and so that's just, don't ignore your passions. I'm almost through this episode. I don't know what I'll talk to about here in a minute, but hang on just a second. I just realized I didn't take my morning meds, so I will be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. Now I gotta get comfortable again. But anyway, don't ignore your passions. Next, living life just to be busy. This one used to be me. And living life just to be busy. This one's hard for me because I see it in my Aunt Ann. My Aunt Ann, I never remember her not having 4, 5, 6 jobs, plus taking care of me when she needed to, plus to take care of my mom all the time. She also took care of other people. I mean, she got paid for all of it, but I think a lot of her, like, she never really retired. And, she worked herself to death. And she went on vacations and stuff like that. And I've always been in the thing of, I guess you could live to be busy all the time. But 9 times out of 10, people ask me, "Oh, what are you working on?" I ain't working on anything. You know, just to be busy. It kind of wears you out. And I've really started to take my time and try to slow down. And, you know, slowing down is a good thing. Being able to hear yourself think. You know, some people, it scares the shit out of them. Not knowing what one day to the next is going to bring. And I really wanted to slow down. Like, all through, if y'all would have known me 10, 15 years ago, I was constantly doing something. Either I was working all the time or stressed about something all the time. Stress makes you busy enough. And I just never, like, people, like, when I worked at the hospital, and even before then, everybody's like, make yourself look busy no matter what, because if not, your boss is going to find something for you to do. And guys, I know that some of y'all may work in restaurants and they'll say that crap. And yes, I think having a good work ethic and things like that is... Sorry guys, my pump is giving me notifications. But yeah, I can see bosses. You need to find something to do, or I can find it for you. I think that that mindset that these bosses have is they want to see you being productive, not wasting. And see, that's the thing is, I think I got kind of good at, but technically I was extremely busy, but I just made it look easy. Because there's some people that, they take orders and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. I don't know what else to do. And that's fine that, employers, but when you're somebody like me, I was always thinking ahead. If I could do something before the boss even tells me to do, they'll stay off my butt. And I've never liked people up in my space, all up in my grill, as we used to say. I don't know what that is now, but I just didn't care too much about people. I mean, I would be talking and chatting with people, but I was also working. And I did busy work just to make sure that people left me alone. And 9 times out of 10, my bosses were just coming over, be like, "Hey, have you? Oh, you've already done that. Oh," then I don't have to deal with them because they know that they don't. They don't need to stand over me. They got other people they need to stand over. And now did have some bosses that just didn't understand, and they'd put more and be like, "Look, I was already getting to that." And then I wouldn't do that because I was like, no, I'm not going to do it because I didn't see it as important, so somebody else can do it. And a lot of people, I'd make a lot of people mad. Why didn't you get to do this? Well, because the boss asked me to do it, and I don't think it's something that I should be doing. I think it should be you doing it. And they get mad about it. And they didn't have the fortitude to tell me no, because they knew that I had already done X, Y, and Z, and they hadn't done anything. Well, I mean, I would do other people's jobs for them, and they didn't even know it. I'll tell you this story. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. When I worked at the hospital, that was one of my biggest things that I wanted to get done. I wanted to work for this certain hospital that's in my town. Anyway, my passions. But I worked in the kitchen. I was the utility. Anybody that works food or hospital, non-doctor, non-nurse jobs, stuff like that, y'all will know what they are. And I was using it as a springboard and to go into maintenance for the actual hospital. Actually, I wanted to be in the maintenance department because I like working with my hands. I love it. And something would break, and they'd be like, "Oh, we need to call maintenance." No, I'll go down to maintenance. I'll ask them what I need to do the job, and I'll bring everything up here, and I will do it. Because maintenance has a lot on their plate. They got to deal with the whole hospital. If I can fix it without them coming up here, or all I got to do is go down there and ask them, and they have the stuff there, I'm like, no, I'll take care of it. I did stuff for laundry, I'd do stuff for them all the time. Hey, y'all need some help? Y'all need anything? Well, because during dietary, I would get myself ahead, way ahead, and the other people that worked in the same position as I did, they didn't understand how I could get all that stuff done. And I'm like, it's not that hard. But once I left, dietary realized how much money I was really saving the hospital. And one of my friends called me about probably a month after I left. And he's like, they had to hire 6, and I'm not gloating, but they had to hire 6 people to do my job because nobody else could do it the way I did. I ran it the way I would run it. Technically, I think they saw they didn't even need, because it was me and 3 others, and one of them was my friend that called me. Well, it was me, him, and 2 others. And my shift was 6 to, well, it technically was supposed to be 7 to 3, 7 to 4, something like that. But I'd come in at 5:30, 6 o'clock. They'd let me clock in early and let me clock out whenever I usually would have everything done, and then I would help out the other utilities, and I would get their job finished for them, and I'm like, hey, I'm done for the day. And I'd go talk to my boss, hey, can I cut out? Yeah, sure. And as soon as I leave the damn the other utilities, huffing and puffing, I can't do all this on myself. And I'm like, I left you with nothing to do. Literally, they would have nothing to do. And sometimes I would get backed up and I'm like, look, I just can't keep going. And they get mad at me. I don't understand. I'm like, you're just taking out 2 extra bags of trash. If you can't stay on top of things that I could stay on top of, I mean, yeah, granted I was younger, but busy work, y'all. Don't live your life just to be busy, because your life is way more important. And quite honestly, I kind of wish I would have learned this a long time ago. Just living life to be busy isn't living life. You're not living life. You're living in a I'm just, like I said, I wish I would have learned this younger. Living to be busy in a workforce is different than living life busy. It's just way easier. Alright, guys. Avoiding change and discomfort. Avoiding change and discomfort. This one is something I had to deal with. The discomfort of avoiding changes. You don't realize how fast your body literally starts hurting you. And you can't avoid the change and the discomfort. It's gonna come. Let it come. I don't know how many times I've dealt with I avoided it because the discomfort. Certain things people love the discomfort of. Honestly, I don't like the discomfort. But you have to not avoid the changes. If your body's telling you need to change, you need to change. And just because it's baby discomfort, it could be discomfort in your pocketbook, it can be discomfort in other ways. And the things that most discomfort you are the things that will make you grow better. So, don't avoid it. Don't avoid the changes. Let the changes come. They're going to come no matter if you're. They're going to come. No matter if you're fighting it, no matter if you don't want it to happen, changes come. And they go too. And number 8, focusing only on negative. There's a shit ton of negative stuff going on in our world right now. And you can either join it or not be a part of it. And I chose not to be a part of it. Because the world's going to do what the world's going to do. They're going to do it with or without you. And the negative people have always, somehow, negativity has its positives, because everybody else that's negative, well, you can tell that they're negative because that's what they feed off of. And that's the thing, is people seem to understand that negativity makes people feel like they have more, like, it's weird. Negativity, you can see it a lot more. You can feel it. You can feel negative energy. You can feel positive energy, but negative energy really does it does cause a lot of issues. Just look at the world right now. And you can't change it. I can't change it. It's going to come when it's going to go. Go in and out of fashion. But honestly, negative things impact your health very largely. You can. A lot of people feel like negativity makes them age. I know it makes me feel heavy. Like, it makes me feel. You just don't feel good. Like, if you see nothing but negative things all the time, and especially if you go back to holding grudges and neglecting your health and overthinking things, all that stuff is negative. All of it. And you need to, if you see yourself as being cold and malice and not caring, a lot of that is because of the negativity around you. For instance, my brother, he always sees the negative in things. And I'm guilty of doing it too. I'm guilty of seeing just the negative stuff. And when I see negative stuff, I get downright hostile. And the last few months, I've been really working on the keeping the negative out of my sight. Uh, and after everything's said and done, it I look back on it and I'm like, you know, I'm only one person. Uh, I'm only I'm only one person, and I can only do so much. And me expressing the negativity just makes it worse. I get really upset when it comes to people being treated with respect and dignity, and this last this was my this was my first time voting this year, and I was let down. uh so many people that I'm 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 friends with and acquaintances with, um and some of my family, and I've had to realize, you know, what I see as negative could be positive for other things. And but what I've learned is things are going to happen. Negative things are going to happen. And me focusing on that negative made me a lot sicker, like not physically sicker, but in my thinking. And there's some things that's I've had to change my opinion on. Uh, People talk about hypocrite and things like that. And I try to keep myself out of that camp. But if I'm wrong on something, I'm wrong on something. And somebody points that out to me, then I do my best to change it. If it's something I want to change. You can have you have to have negative and positive things. Things happen for reasons, and we don't know why those reasons happen until later on. We don't know. We don't know how. You know, one side of my beard's bugging me, but you can't let the negative get to you. Steph is the world's best about. I mean, she does get fiery sometimes, but she tells me all the time, "No, there's no reason to worry about negative crap." And there really isn't. People are gonna do what they do, and guys, I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult for all of us, all across. It's not just here. It's not. It's not just in the States. It's not. It's everywhere. we we all want to be comfortable. We all want the same things in life. We want to be happy. We want to be included in everything. And that's the thing, is we all want that. And we all want our own tribe, basically. And I mean, we all do. And none of us want to feel like outcast. We all want to have our own group of people that understand us and that care about us, and we all want that. And along the way, there's people that's not going to want you, that's not going to care, that's not going to. And that's the thing with me too, is I want that too. You know, I've talked about my Native American. I want my tribe to accept me, but it's never going to happen unless other things happen. And I have to make my own way. I have to make my own way of doing things. And I'm going to leave it as that. And we'll pick up later. We'll talk on some other things later on. My next episode is going to be, I'm going to be talking about my passions and what I want to do with this channel. And I hope people find it. Y'all like, subscribe, share it. All my links to my social medias are in the description. But y'all, if you do come across this and it does help you, let me know. Comment. Tell me if you want me to talk about other things. I'll be more than glad to. But anyway, guys, I hope to see you in the next one. Y'all have a good weekend, because today's Thursday. Y'all have. I'm gonna try my best to do at least once a week, if not more. I really want to do more a week so that I can talk and get out there more. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all have a good one, and y'all take care, and we'll see y'all next time.